Especially welcome our inductees for 2010, their families and friends. We got a lot of families and friends. I think this might be about the biggest banquet we've had, but it's good to see all of you out tonight. We'd also like to extend a special welcome to our new principal. I don't know how many of you have met him, but you will meet him tonight. And I will say one thing, he was also a Roxborough athlete, and I happen to have had the honor of being his coach when he played baseball. And we know that he's going to continue carrying on the rich background that we have always had in Roxborough athletics. So without further ado, I hope everyone will enjoy your dinners. And then after you finish your dinner, you will then have enjoyment in hearing all of the things about our inductees for 2010. So with that, I will bring up, I think, Fred, I think you are on next.
It's customary that after I give the invocation that we take a moment of silence for those former students and athletes who have passed on. Now tonight they have not given me any names, but some of you, I'm sure, know classmates and athletes that you played with who may have passed away this year. So please take a moment after the invocation to be silent and pray for their families. Shall we pray? God, our Heavenly Father, we are thankful that we can be here tonight to honor those outstanding athletes that left such a rich heritage on the fields and playing courts at Roxborough High School. They were an inspiration to their teammates and to all who watched, but just as important, their inspiration was not only on the athletic field, but it was in their everyday life. And we thank you for the character of each one of these great athletes. And now we pray, Lord, that you'll bless this food that has been so richly prepared for us. We pray that it'll nourish and strengthen our bodies, that we might serve each other and you better. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Our school song, Our Roxborough High School, is on the inside cover in the back. And I'm going to ask that all those graduates or alumni of Roxborough High and any students that are here will stand and we'll honor our high school by singing our school song, Our Roxborough High School. And we're going to sing two verses. I didn't know standing up was that noisy. Ready? Oh, Roxborough, we love thee. We will stand by thee through all. Oh, Roxborough, the beauteous school, we will never let thee fall. Our Roxborough High School, way up on the hill, all will hear her glory, echoed with a thrill. Shall we work with spirit for our high school? Roxborough we will. Oh, Roxborough will see thee as future years pass by, still holding as you're doing now a place of honor high. Our Roxborough High School, way up on the hill, all will hear her glory, echoed with a thrill. Shall we work with spirit for our high school? Roxborough we will. Thank you.
want to ask everyone to stand and salute the flag of which we are so proud as Americans. The flag is right over here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated.
Well, I'm back again, and I have to say I kind of flubbed the dove a little bit. Actually, Principal Grant was supposed to come up after my welcome, and I called Fred up, so I have to apologize to him. But now you will hear from our new principal, Mr. Stephen Brand.
I have to thank Coach Hubbard for putting me through the gauntlet one more time. Of course, I have to follow the guy who's singing. But Mr. Barkley, thank you for leading us with our school song. I appreciate it. First, I'd like to open up by just welcoming everyone to the 19th Annual Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame Induction Banquet. I thank all of our alumni, our guests. I'd like to give a special thanks to State Representative Kathy Mandarino, Curtis Jones from City Council, I know will be joining us, and also Bernard Gray from the Roxborough Development Corporation. More importantly, I'd like to thank the Sports Hall of Fame Committee for putting this lovely banquet together to honor our great student athletes from Roxborough High School who have contributed to the legacy and the rich traditions of the school. With that, I congratulate Tony, Lou, Fawn, Lynn, and Don on their inductions. Thank you for carrying. Yes, please, round of applause for them. As a student athlete myself from Roxborough High School, playing football, basketball, and baseball, I know the hard work, all right, that goes into playing and also maintaining your grades. I have the utmost respect for you, and I thank you for setting the precedent not only for my generation, but also the future generations of Roxborough High School. So with that, I thank everyone for coming again this evening, and I hope that you have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
Good evening. One more shot before we eat dinner. We each year the committee makes a decision on dedicating the booklet for the banquet to a special individual. A couple years we did not, only because we weren't unanimous on somebody really special. But this year it was unanimous, hands down, no problem. I just want to tell you a little bit about Bob Marshall. The list of past inductees into the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame clearly exhibits the top athletic talent the school has had to offer over the years. Perhaps the most common thread shared by this list of student athletes is that they have given back to their community in one fashion or another. Enter to learn, leave to serve is the mantra of many fine high schools in the area, including Roxborough High School. Tonight we honor one individual who epitomizes this ideal, Bob Marshall. He's not only given back to his community, but to his country, and he's exhibited the same in his business and civic endeavors. Bob was inducted into our Hall of Fame in 2004 with the following credentials. He is a member of the class of January 1959. While at Roxborough, he earned 9 varsity letters in 5 different sports: football, basketball, track, golf, and tennis. He was a starting guard on the 1957 Public League Championship football team and a two-way player on the 58 team as he switched to halfback and scored 10 touchdowns for the Indians. He was an all-public selection in both 1957 and 1958 and received the George S. Davis Award as the outstanding athlete in his graduating class. Bob was also the captain and #1 ranked player on the golf team while running middle distance events for the 1957 undefeated track team. Upon graduation, he attended Temple University, While earning a Bachelor of Science degree, he received varsity letters in 3 different sports: football, wrestling, and golf. He received honorable mention All Mid-Atlantic Conference for 2 years, and in football, and he was the number 3 ranked player on their golf squad. Then it was off to officer candidate school for the U.S. Navy. He served in the Navy for 4.5 years, which included 2 tours in Vietnam, including 1 tour as a small boat captain. Bob returned home and on to Temple University, where he earned an MBA. He stayed at Temple as an offensive line coach for Temple's football team. All the above prepared him for a near 30-year career in the world of finance. He reached senior vice president for Citigroup, then president and COO of Advantage Credit Card Operations, and finally president of COO of Arcadia Financial Company in Minnesota. He has held board affiliations with 5 different companies, while serving as past chairman of Impact Services, a North Philadelphia-based service organization. Bob continues to support Roxborough High School, something close to my heart. He's a yearly benefactor for the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame Golf Classic. We are proud to dedicate this book for the class of the 2010 inductees into the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame to one of our own, Bob Marshall. Now, Bob's wife Donna would like to address the people here. She has a few comments she'd like to make. Donna?
Good evening, everybody. Actually, these comments are not mine. They are Bob's. You may wonder why he's not here himself. After the intro that you have in the book, you could learn a lot. Hello. He's over here, but I'm over here. The intro in the book talks about his athletic career and his business career. But 3 years ago, we experienced a severe medical event that Bob's been clawing back from over the last couple of years. And because of that, his voice is restoring and recovering. He's very easy to talk with one-on-one, but it's very difficult for him to project in a large group such as this. So he has prepared remarks for me to deliver on his behalf, and here they are. First, I'd like to congratulate the 5 very deserving former Roxborough High athletes on being selected as this year's Sports Hall of Fame inductees. I know from my own experience that each of you is very excited to be recognized in this way. I especially want to acknowledge Don Semich. Don, where are you? Don, okay. Way back when, Don was very instrumental in stoking the flames of my interest in sports. He and a regular bunch of high school guys used to come to the basketball court at Levering Schoolyard and play hoops. I was a 12-year-old living next door to the school, and I used to hang around the edges of these games with my classmate Bob Foyle, another member of the Hall of Fame, hoping to get a chance to play. On occasion, the older guys needed a player or two, and we got our chance. Mostly we just passed the ball. To me, Don stood out from the rest back then, and tonight he's being appropriately honored with that same distinction. What a treat to see him again after all these years. I must tell you, I was surprised when Ron Halley called to tell me that the Hall of Fame was dedicating this evening's program to me. I was quite emotional when I hung up the phone. I have to admit that the last 3 years have been pretty trying. Coming back from such a serious and debilitating medical event is not for sissies. It has required much hard work and blind optimism that things would eventually improve, and they have. Thankfully, I had been prepared for this challenge by the example of a mother who showed tremendous determination and courage when, all by herself, she raised her 5 children to become terrific adults. I also had the good fortune of having been coached and mentored by outstanding men like Coach Hauser, Coach Mowbray, Coach Grigson, and Coach Braverman at Roxborough, and my line coach and wrestling coach at Temple, John Rogers. Each of them taught me how to dig deep and work hard in order to achieve. I couldn't be more grateful for that preparation. I've had tremendous people helping me at every phase along the way of my recovery, and they have enabled me to regain most of my former capabilities. Easily the single greatest supporter is my designated hitter tonight, my wife, Donna. I made him write that part. When I think about tonight's recognition, I believe it speaks volumes about the Hall of Fame board, its members, and to a large degree, the community of all athletes who have played at Roxborough. As an athlete here, it was always comforting to know that your teammates would be there to encourage you with a pat on the butt or a tap on the helmet when perhaps you messed up or you experienced an injury. That same instinct to pick up the guy who might be down is very much at play here tonight. Ever since my medical event, I have had phone calls and inquiries from so many former Roxborough athletes, especially Joe Philbin, Jack Bottinger, Ron Halley, Bill Phelan, and Dave Hare. Frank Petrellis, George Reinstadt, and Bubby Broughton, all Hall of Fame members and teammates on the 1957 championship team, now communicate virtually every day via email. Each one finds a way to frequently pat me on the butt with encouragement, mixed with the normal sports items, political notes, videos, and of course, jokes. Yes, these guys have been terrific teammates, and I sincerely thank each one of them for their concern and their attention. It feels like I have a network of big brothers making sure I'm okay. And, as he has always been, the guy who leads everybody as the most encouraging person is Coach Hauser. Coach Hauser has called me without fail virtually every month for the past 3 years since I was hurt. To check on my progress, yes, but mostly to let me know he's thinking about me. Coach Hauser taught us all how to play the game of football the right way, and he was certainly among the best at that. However, his commitment to looking after his former players is unsurpassed. Thanks, Coach. Just thinking as I read that there's one thing that is not in Bob's remarks, and it has to do with Coach calling about every month or every 5 weeks or so. And if I answer the phone, Bob usually doesn't answer. So I hear, if those of you who know Coach Hauser know he has a very distinctive voice. So I pick up the phone, hi, and he says, "Hi, Donna." I said, "Hi, Coach." And he says, "Oh, you recognize who I am?" I said, "Yes, I recognize you right away." In the bio and the dedication, there's mention of many things that I've done outside my life in sports. I know some people may think it sounds like a cliche, but virtually everything I have achieved has been the product of being taught how to work hard, play fair, and not settle for second place. I'm lucky to come from a generation that stressed these things, and they have stuck with me. This all comes from my sports background and the superior education available to all of us at Roxborough. I don't know where I would be without both parts of that training. There is one very positive thing that has come from my medical event. For many years, I was a single-digit handicap golfer. However, in the couple of years before I was hurt, my handicap was creeping into the low double digits, largely because I putted like I had a writhing, hissing snake in my hands. No 18-inch gimmies, especially not from my gleeful nephews. And now I'm back on the course again and making real progress to at least being competent. I'm particularly astonished to discover that I am now a much better than average putter. One of my golfing buddies is a 70-year-old retired heart surgeon who still shoots his age. He broke me up recently when he said, "Well, Marshall, you sure chose a hell of a way to get rid of the yips." In closing, I want to thank the Sports Hall of Fame for this recognition. I've had many memorable experiences in my life, but none have made me more proud or have been more uplifting than tonight's honor. Enjoy the evening. Again, congratulations to the 5 new inductees.
Thank you, Donna, and thank you, Bobby. Before we let you eat, if you would, just allow me one cheap plug. We've left some cards on the table. This concerns our Roxborough High Hall of Fame Golf Classic, which is held every Columbus Day. This is our 9th year. If you wish to be included on our mailing list when we send out the invitations, please fill these cards out. Either give them to me or place them on the table over there where there's some golf photos from past classics. But we have a hell of a lot of fun at this thing. It's for a good cause, and most of the years the weather's fine, so don't put the clubs away before you come and play in our outing. Enjoy your dinner.
my union died tonight, and I have to run up to the Northeast. This is from Curtis Jones, honoring Tony Bonner Sr., Lynn Nary Gramberg, Fawn Disney Smith, Louis DeChico, and Donald Samish. The Council of the City of Philadelphia is pleased and proud to join the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame Committee in congratulating Tony Bonner Sr., Lynn Nary Gramberg, Fawn Disney Smith, Louis DeChico, and Donald Samish on their induction into the 2010 Sports Hall of Fame. Whereas through their determination and discipline, they have brought distinction to their sport, and today they bring pride to this community. Sports have always been a symbol of the highest values of life, and thus they are models of our historic concepts of citizenship and humanity. And whereas for many years the inductees have been honored for their contributions to athletics and the wider sports community, we find that today they are members in good standing in the Universal Club of world-class athletes, strong in spirit and committed to the eternal value of sports. Thereby, by virtue of this citation, the Council of the City of Philadelphia does hereby commend Tony Bonner Sr., Lynn Nary Gramberg, Fawn Disney Smith, Louis DeChico, and Donald Samish upon their induction into the Roxborough High School 2010 Sports Hall of Fame. We thank them for their contributions, and we extend to them the respect, admiration, and very best wishes of this legislative body. From Curtis Jones and Anna Verna, President of the City Council. Thank you. I'll give out.
I want you to hold your applause till the last person stands up. There you are, one down already. And we joke, we just haven't been able to do it yet. But I'm going to introduce the person. I want the person whose name I've read to stand up and stay standing and raise your hand, because what we're doing is filming Channel 6 News, and they're going to interrupt the Cornell basketball game tonight to show this. By the way, stand up, and when I call the next person, put your hand down, but stay standing so you can see how many people attended. All right, starting. John Bonder. He's alive. Don't believe what you read in the book. Fred Hauser. Terry Hammis.
I'm alive.
George Rystad. Bob Marshall, he couldn't be here, but I would like to have. Oh, there he is. Yes, he is here. Hi, Bob. Ron Halley. Back there. Loretta Bunch. Jim Howitt. Paul Bennett. Walter Sienko. Well, you're doing good. You're doing good. Carl Flaxman. Ron Maiden. Okay. Joe Horan. Bill Phelan. Kyle Robinson. Cliff Hubbard. Bob Warner. And Joe D'Angelo. Go back there. Okay, give yourself a hand. You passed the test. It happened. Let's give our Hall of Fame. Okay, you may. Well, thank you very much for your kind attention. And Bill, do I turn this over to you?
No, Paul Bennett, here he comes.
Paul Bennett, okay. Thanks, Jim. A good replacement. All right, good evening. I don't have to repeat a lot of it, but the same thing. Just hold your applause. And the people I call, please stand. Half of this list has already been introduced, though. You know what I mean? So, here we go. Ron Howley, the CEO, founder of the Roxborough Sports Hall of Fame. Stephen Brandt, new principal at Roxborough High School. Ralph Spizzato, past president emeritus of Pennsylvania Court of Judicial Discipline, and also past former teacher. Bernard Gay, executive director of the Roxborough Development Corporation. George Beatman, editor of the Review.
There he is.
Janet Zaliska, president of the Roxborough High School Alumni Association. Richard Jenkins, retired principal of Roxborough High School. Members of the Wissahickon Baptist Church. Terrell Burdett, athletic director of Roxborough High School. George McGee, retired English teacher at Roxborough High School and sponsor of the famous yearbooks. Gene, sorry about that. Member of the Roxborough Memorial Hospital staff. Angela Spizzato, former language teacher at Roxborough High School. The 21st Ward Athletic Association and Summit Chapter organizations. And members of the Semish family from Longboat, Florida. And we already missed Curtis Jones wasn't able to attend, and his replacement, Lou Egger, you guys have already heard. He said the city citation. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Bill, and he'll introduce one more. Thank you.
Before I make just one last special introduction, who's feeling lucky out there? I'm going to draw the 50-50. Yeah. To the winner goes $130. So, I'm going to ask our new principal to pull a ticket out of the box so you don't throw anything at me. Ticket number 830620. Now, Bobby Warner, sit down. 830620. Oh, this is rigged tonight. We got the camera guy going.
I'm sitting with the lucky lady, that's why. Right, double check my eyes here. Oh, thank you very much.
Right, yeah.
Okay, we're going to read just one citation from the state of Pennsylvania. So if Kathy Mandarino would come up. And before Kathy reads the citation, as you know, Kathy Mandarino is stepping down from state representative at the end of this year, and we on the executive board, as well as being representatives of the 21st Ward, we have a little gift for her, and probably the best thing I can say. I mean, I wrote it, so here I might as well read it, but. For all that Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame stands for all that Roxborough High School has stood for, And for all the athletes, coaches, students, and parents of the 21st Ward, a sincere thank you for all you've done throughout the years. Kathy Mandarino, State Representative, 194th District.
Oh, how nice. Oh, thank you, Bill.
Watching them hands.
Thank you very much. Oh, thank you all very much. I get a lot of joys and a lot of hard work, but a lot of joys from being an elected official and being your representative in Harrisburg. And it's hard to believe that 18 years passed as fast as it did. But I decided that 18 years is enough to wear anybody out. And it's also a good time to let someone else have a chance. And I keep getting teased that I made it look so much fun and so easy that there are about 8 people running for my seat. But I made it, if I made it look fun and I made it look easy, it's because it is so much of a joy to represent such a great district. And the 21st Ward sports organizations have absolutely made that experience a wonderful experience for me. I didn't grow up in the 21st Ward. I didn't go to Roxborough High School. I came here for my first job out of college. I fell in love with the area and I stayed, and I fell in love with the area because of the people of the community. And so I thank all of you for all the blessings that you've given me and the 18 years that you've given me the opportunity to serve you. My last official, function for the Roxborough High School Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame is to congratulate this year's inductees. I met the son of Anthony Tony Bonder on the way in to Lou DeChico, Fawn Disney Smith, Lynn Neary Gramberg, and Dom Semnich. Congratulations to all of you on this wonderful honor and recognition. I have brought official, very pretty citations from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. They all are personalized to each of the inductees, and I will just briefly read it so you get a sense of it, but they really are a wonderful way to commemorate the great things that folks have done. Whereas the House of Representatives of Pennsylvania is always pleased to recognize those outstanding athletes who have brought great credit to themselves and to this Commonwealth. And whereas, in this case, Tony Bonner is being honored posthumously upon his March 25th, 2010 induction into the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame. And whereas, and then there's a very nice paragraph about each of the inductees, specific to them and their experiences and their accomplishments in their life. Now therefore, the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania pays tribute to the late Tony Bonner and all of the inductees upon this well-deserved distinction, notes with pride your many accomplishments and contributions to athletics, and directs that a copy of this citation be transmitted to you. Thank you for all that you do for your community, and thank you all members of the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame for your wonderful welcoming and of me for the past 18 years at your banquets. Thanks.
Okay, it's showtime. Our inductees. Our first inductee for this evening is Fawn Disney Smith, and she will be presented by Pat Robinson.
And Shelley Gill. And Shelley Gill.
And Shelley Gill.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to honor and introduce Fawn Disney Smith into the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame. Ever since we were 4 years old, Fawn and I were doing cartwheels and somersaults on her lawn and swimming in the pool of her backyard. We also climbed her tree and picked the berries off to make berry and mud pies. Throughout the years, ballet, tap, jazz, swim team, water ballet, and gymnastics at the Kendrick Recreation Center were a part of our agenda. Who could have ever imagined that this was the beginning of such an accomplished, well-rounded athlete? Her other outstanding attributes beside athletics are National Honor Society, being meritorious or distinguished for 4 years, and being a member of the Fellowship of the Christian Athletes. I was thrilled to nominate and now introduce Fawn into the Roxborough High Sports Hall of Fame, as I couldn't think of anyone more deserving of this. Fawn and I thank all of you for helping us. I'll now turn this over to Shelley Gilpester.
Okay, this starts off a little corny, but it gets better. Okay. Swimmers, take your mark. These words are familiar to anyone who has ever been in a swim meet. Fawn Disney Smith knows these words well. Growing up, Fawn could either be found in a pool or in a gymnasium. She began swimming at Kendrick Recreation Center at an early age and swam for the Roxborough YMCA as well. She has done just about everything in the water, from performing water ballet to Beatles songs at the rec, to being a member of a relay team that set a YMCA state record in 1976. She was also one of the first women to swim and dive for the men's swim team at Roxborough High School. I was Fawn's teammate at Kendrick in the Y and on the RHS men's team as well, so I know firsthand what a stir we caused in 1975 when we swam against the men. Now, don't get me wrong, being on the men's team had its advantages. Hey, fit guys and Speedos all to ourselves. What more could a girl want? Mr. Howitt and the boys on the team treated us great, but it was not always fun and games. First, there was the challenge of being on 2 varsity sports teams in the same season, gymnastics and swimming. That one was challenging for the coaches as well. Sometimes at away swim meets, we had to wait around for someone to find the key to the women's locker room, and we were not interested in changing in the men's room. And on a few occasions, there were disparaging comments thrown our way at the starting block. But the remarks usually changed to silence at the end of the race when Fawn came out on top. Fawn was one of the best backstrokers and divers in the public league. She was 3rd overall in the city in diving in 1977 and part of the team that won the division title in 1975. Fawn's athletic abilities went far beyond the pool, with her proficiency in gymnastics, volleyball, and track. But it was really Fawn's attitude about it all that really makes her special. Fawn was so talented and so naturally gifted, but was never boastful or a braggart. If anything, she was shy about her abilities and her accomplishments. She played to win, but she really just wanted to have fun. Fawn and I were like sisters growing up. Fawn was as much a member of my family as my sisters and brothers. My mom used to come to all of our gymnastic meets and swim meets, and if anyone here knew Mrs. Gill, you knew that she was there simply because you heard her. If you didn't hear her voice, you heard her famous cowbell. Recently, Fawn told me how much my mother had meant to her when we were growing up. My mother would have been proud to know that she had been a positive influence on Fawn's life, and she would have loved to have been here tonight to celebrate this honor with Fawn and give her one more hurrah. So Fawn, here's to you from my mom and on your introduction into the Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, I've decided to put my speech into 3 different parts. I'm quite forgetful and unorganized, and my family here will vouch for that. I was once known in Roxborough as being Dizzy Disney, and I have dropped the Disney, but the Dizzy still stands with me. So I have parted it into 3 pieces so I could remember everything. My first part of my speech is my thank yous, and it's the most important part of my speech. My first thank you is to God, who's given me my abilities and everything I was able to do, and who's given me my family and my friends and my coaches. And he is the most important one that I do have to thank. My second thank you goes to my family, my mom, who encouraged me without pushing me obnoxiously, as we know some parents can tend to do. She was always there to encourage. My brothers and sisters, my sisters for calling and encouraging me, and my brother for being with me there on the boys swim team to push me in the pool, in the backstroke. I was beating him for a while, and then when we hit about 14 and 15 years old, he was touching them all before me. So I'd like to thank my family. I'd like to thank my husband and my children, and I'd also like to thank my nieces who are all here with me as well, and my mother and father-in-law for coming and supporting me here. I do want to thank Patty Robinson for nominating me. I understand it takes a lot to nominate someone, so all you inductees, say a big thank you to the people who have nominated you, because it is, from what I understand, it does take a lot of investigating. I'd like to thank Shelley Gill for being there for those years that I was growing up and doing sports. We did them, we had a blast, and we had a lot of fun doing them and working hard at the same time. And I want to thank her for the display that she put up there for me. And I want to thank my coaches. Marty, my first coach in gymnastics, is here when I was 5 or 6 years old. My high school coaches are here. We have Mrs. Hammis, who was my volleyball coach, and she was a hammer. There was no messing around on the volleyball court. She made us work our butts off. Mrs. Miles, she was my track coach, and Mrs. Curtis. I'd like to say thank you to them. They're not here, but I do want to say thank you to them. And a big place in my heart for a thank you goes to Mr. Howitt, who was there for me. And was a great role model for both my brother and I during those times when we really needed it. He encouraged us. He showed us how to work hard and do our best and take everything that we could with a grain of salt. And that brings me to my second part of my speech, and that part is how the sports and athletics has helped me more in my life than just getting a dumb old trophy or dumb old medal. It has really helped me grow as a person when I was younger doing those things. It has taught me so much. And one thing Mr. Howard has done when we were being coached under him, he did show us how much all those things meant as far as growing as people and learning through the athletics. It teaches us how to work hard and reap the benefits of working hard. It teaches us how to win with grace and be humble. The sports teach us how to lose and with grace and not be a sore loser. It teaches us how to persevere when we just can't seem to do it. Keep trying and keep trying and keep trying, and we'll make that goal. It teaches us how to handle disappointment. We want to so bad do so well, and we're training and training and training, and then someone comes along and cheats and beats us. And we all know that happens in real life. So it helps us with that, and it helps us with discouragement. Sometimes we're working so hard for something, and then we turn around and we have an injury and something sidelines us. And we have to learn how to work through that, change our goals, go a different direction in order to get through that. So the big thing to say for the second part is that the sports and the athletics it's not just about winning a medal and winning trophies and winning and losing. It really helps us as we're growing to learn as people and how to deal with the things that life are thrown at us, because they are thrown at, they do come flying at us, and it did help me with that growing up. So that is one thing that I did want to say and want to impress upon to everybody. And the last part of my speech that I have to say is the least important, but it's the funnest part of my speech. I come from an area, I come from here, but I have lived 19 years on the west side of Gettysburg. And on the west side of Gettysburg, wrestling is a really big deal out there. And my father-in-law helped build the wrestling program out there, and my husband is very involved with the wrestling, and my sons are very involved with the wrestling and with other sports as well. Everywhere I go, I hear how great my father-in-law was building the program, and how my husband was a great wrestler, and he's on the wall of champions, and my sons are very involved. And one day we were sitting around, and when people come to me, they say, "Oh, you're the wrestler's wife," or "Oh, you're the wrestler's husband," or "wrestler's daughter-in-law," or "You're the wrestler's mom." But one day we were sitting at the table, and around the kitchen table, and I remember it was about a year and a half ago, and my one son said to me, "You know, Dad and Grandpa, and they're really well known out there for their wrestling, and everybody sees them as being really big and helping out. And poor Mom, she doesn't do anything. She's a nobody." And then I realized then that I had spent so much time being a mom and driving places and doing things for the kids and with the kids. And so it's great to be here and be acknowledged with that. They know now that I'm not just the mom who drives them 4 nights a week to the soccer practices and stands out there in the umbrella with the dripping rain. And I'm not just the mom that goes to my daughter's basketball games and watches them lose 40-8, but I'm so excited about every one of those 8 points. And I'm not just the mom that goes to the football games in 12-degree weather with 5 layers of clothing and then gets ticked off when they have no hot chocolate left. And then I am not just the mom that sits at the wrestling matches for 12 hours a day developing bleacher butt and then coming home and doing 20 loads of wash. I am somebody. So anyway. I just want to thank everybody and everyone who had anything to do with nominating me and voting for me. I appreciate everything that the sports have done, and I thank you all very, very much.
That's why I said please. Because now I can relax. Now you can relax. Thank you.
Our next inductee is Tony Bonder. He will be presented by son Jim Bonder and accepted by son Tony Bonder.
Thank you. To say that I'm nervous would be a little bit of an understatement, so please bear with me. Even though my dad cannot be here, I can assure you we now have his attention. And the reason I say that is, being the youngest in the family, we always get accused of saying the darndest things as kids. So as Dad watches with Mom, he has just elbowed her and said, "My God, Marie, I can't believe they're going to let Jimmy speak." So on behalf of my sister Joanne, my brothers John and Tony, and the entire Bonder family, I'm honored to stand before you and share the merits of our father into the Roxborough Hall of Fame. Dad grew up on Fountain Street, and upon retirement, he moved to the suburbs. But it was always real interesting that whenever we drove on the expressway and into the city, which was quite often, when you got to the Belmont Avenue exit, he would look over to the Roxborough area and the stories would start to flow as if he knew that this is where he belonged. Dad's accomplishments are many. He was all public in football, basketball, and baseball. He was the leading scorer in both football and basketball his senior year. He played for a service team of which he was the only player that was not on a Major League Baseball roster. He was signed by Connie Mack and was optioned to the St. Louis Browns. He became a prominent referee in the PIAA and the college level in both baseball and basketball. He was considered one of the best all-around athletes in the late 30s and 40s in Philadelphia. And he had to compete with his brothers Jim and Lou, who along with my brother John, are also members of this Hall of Fame. After the service, he came home to rise through the ranks of law enforcement to the highest rank in the narcotics squad, and earned the highest compliment by Police Chief and Mayor Frank Rizzo that Tony Bonder was the ultimate cop. If we want to know what life was like living with Dad in the narcotics, I would reference to you the TV show The Untouchables and Elliot Ness. That was the passion that Dad brought to his job as the ultimate cop to fight crime against drugs. But it was home where he was the ultimate leader. Because of his busy schedule, he communicated to us how to throw, run, hit, shoot, and pass. But it was also the lessons that he and Mom taught us on a daily basis that were much more valuable than a bachelor's degree from college. And those lessons were simple. Yes, sir. No, sir. Please, may I, and thank you. So before Anthony Bonder Sr. is accepted into the Roxborough High School Hall of Fame by my brother Tony, I close with these thoughts. I hope that some of what I've touched on are what Dad would want us to say. But I also wonder what he would say as he got ready to come to this event, and here's what I think. In a perfect world, I would see him coming out of the house that he grew up on in Fountain Street, get into his car with Mom, and drive up that hill to the high school. He would park his car, and he would turn to Mom and say, "Marie, let's go. I'm home." And here to bring Dad home is my brother Tony.
Good evening. Before I mention or get into my speech, there's just two things that I want to mention. Today, many of us had the opportunity to go back to Roxborough High School. For myself, I had not been there in 40 years. And I just wanted to say a very special thank you to the committee members, the participants, and all the folks that were there today for making us truly feel like a part of the Roxborough family. Having the student athletes there today, that was truly something special, and hopefully a wonderful message was delivered to them. But I just can't say on behalf of all of us how much that meant to us to allow us to be there and be a part of it, so thank you. The other thing is that, as someone has mentioned, my brother John is listed as deceased in the program. He is not. He and his wife Mel are here tonight. So if John owes you any money, you can still collect, okay? First off, I want to say thank you to my brother Jim, and good evening. My name is Tony Bonder Jr., and it is truly an honor for me to have the opportunity to speak on behalf of my family about our hero, about the most important person in our life, and to represent that individual here tonight, our father, Anthony Bonder Sr. Speaking on behalf of Dad and our entire family,
We would first like to congratulate Lewis, Fawn, Lynn, and Don for their outstanding accomplishments and for their being inducted here tonight into this tremendous organization. Next, we would like to say thank you to the Hall of Fame committee members for recognizing Dad's accomplishments and for choosing him from a list of so many qualified candidates. To have Dad's memory and his accomplishments brought to life again here this evening is an honor for him and for our entire family. We thank the committee for honoring him by selecting him into this prestigious Roxborough Sports Hall of Fame. In many hours of hard work and research, and because of Mr. Gagliano's efforts, he's made our family's wish come true. Without his support, this evening and this honor would never have occurred. So we say thank you to Mr. Gagliano. I know that Dad, yes. I know that Dad would want me to extend a special thank you to his wife Marie and to our mom and also to our sister Joanne. Imagine growing up in a household with 3 boys and a father, and between the 4 of us, we were either playing, coaching, refereeing, or umpiring some type of high school or college athletic event. Besides that, our father had 2 brothers, all of which refereed, coached, and umpired on the high school, college, and the professional levels. Needless to say, we were never home and always running around doing something. Through it all, Mom and Joanne always had the sandwiches and snacks ready to go when we started our trip, and whether we won or lost, they always had the warm meals, the love, and all the understanding when we returned. Actually, I think that they were sometimes glad to get us out of the house just so they could have the opportunity to watch something other than sports on the only one TV that we had at home. I know that Dad would want me to tell Mom and Joanne how much he loved them and to thank them for everything they did for all of us. Love you. Through Dad's many years of police work and sports involvement, he was fortunate to receive many, many awards. But if Dad was here tonight, what a thrill it would have been for him to be inducted into the same organization that chose to first honor his brother Jim Bonder in the early 90s, his brother Lou Bonder in the late 90s, and to especially be on the same team with his son John Bonder, who was inducted in 2007. This is an honor that I'm sure would have been one of the personal shining moments of his life. To all of Dad's coaches, athletic teammates, and other friends, unfortunately most of whom have passed on, but some of whose siblings are here tonight, I know that Dad would want me to extend a special thank you to them. Thank you for being an important part of his life, for allowing him to share in your life, and for always being there when he needed you. To all of Dad's family members that are here tonight, and those that have passed on, I know Dad would want me to say thank you for all of your love, and to let each and every one of you know how much he loved you. How proud he is of all of you for everything that you have accomplished, and the wonderful way that you have honored yourselves and the Bonder name through the years. Dad truly loved Roxborough. Whenever and wherever we traveled, people would ask, "Where are you folks from?" Without hesitation, Dad would proudly answer, "Roxborough," as if everyone in the country knew where it was. But that just exemplified how much love Dad truly had for this school and this area. In closing, I can only say that Roxborough truly was Dad's field of dreams. And we, the family, want to say thank you very, very much for bringing him home tonight. Thank you, and God bless.
Our next inductee is Louis DeChico, and he will be presented by Tony Esposito.
Good evening. Tonight, I have the distinct privilege of presenting a lifelong friend, Lou DeChico, for acceptance into the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame. Personally, I've known Lou since the first grade. Ever since that time, I'm very familiar with his love and passion for the game of baseball. That passion started around here in the fields of Roxborough and Manayunk, continued through high school, and frankly, still exists in Lou today. To this day, Lou still volunteers his time coaching baseball in the very same community where it all started. It is that passion that brings us here tonight. As a member of the varsity baseball team as a junior and a captain as a senior, Lou led our team to the playoffs each year and helped put us in contention for the public league title. In 1978 and 79, Lou's accomplishments on the baseball field were recognized by his peers and coaches as he was selected first team All-Public in center field, and then again as a senior at second base. But those of us that know Lou and saw him play know his greatest talents were his abilities at the plate. Frankly, to put it bluntly, that skinny kid could hit the you-know-what out of the ball. He might look that skinny tonight, but he was about as thick as this microphone stand right in front of me. Despite his numerous achievements in baseball, Lou also played football at Roxborough all 4 years. I would certainly be remiss if I did not mention what I know is a highlight of his football career. Lou happened to be a wide receiver on our team that ran the wishbone offense. So as most of you know, we didn't throw the ball that much to anyone. In fact, I really only remember one pass thrown to Lou. Not that there weren't others, but there was just one that was very memorable to me and those of us that played with Lou. In the fall of 1978, we were playing Central High School over at their field, and as most of you here know, that was our arch rival, probably in most every sport. We were undefeated and tied with Central for first place late in the season. At the time, they had a 6-0 lead, but we had the ball and we were on the move. We were inside their 20-yard line when Coach Hubbard called a pass. Yes, I was shocked also. We were all shocked and nervous. I don't even remember if the pass was supposed to go to Lou. Anyway, Rodney Jones, our quarterback at the time, takes the snap, drops back, and lets the pass go. From there, I only remember 2 things. There were a crowd of players from Roxborough and Central in the end zone. And 2, I saw Lou jump up and snag the ball as though he was grabbing a ball in center field. And That TD put us ahead 7-6 as we went on to thump Central 28-6 and go on to win the Central Division title. All I can say is thank God Lou played baseball, because he didn't catch many footballs prior to that day. And you heard me mention football and baseball, but I think Lou's vertical leap for that was about all of 2 inches, so we know why he also didn't play basketball. Seriously, Lou's passion and excellence for the game of in baseball are the primary reasons we're here tonight. But he was a terrific all-around athlete and truly deserves the honor you are about to bestow on him tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Lou DeChico to the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you tonight. Thanks. Tone, that was great. I couldn't have had a more suitable person tonight presenting me. It's Tony. Tony and I both grew up in Manayunk. Both played for the Tigers organization for my father. And we're teammates at Roxborough High, football and baseball. And Tone mentioned running a wishbone. And you know, running a wishbone, you got to have a pretty good fullback blocking for you, and that was Tony's job, and did a great job at it for 2 years out there at varsity. I'd first like to thank Roxborough High School Hall of Fame for my induction tonight. I'd also like to thank all the other candidates, thank Paul Bennett and Eddie Peters for nominating me. I would like to congratulate all the other candidates tonight. I'd like to thank my wife Jill, my daughter Michelle, my sons Louis and Nick, and all my family members for coming out tonight. Roxborough High School, well, where do I start? From two-a-day practices at Westerman Field to Thanksgiving Day against Roman Catholic. From baseball practices March 1st in the gym to playoffs in May. All worth the time and the effort. The first time I walked onto the practice field, I thought I was a good player. But that's just it. Roxborough is made up of all good players. That's what makes a solid team. In football, for every action, there's a reaction. So if you miss your assignment, the play fails. This is what the coaches revolved around, knowing our assignments. This only meant that you had to work harder. Well, it must have paid off senior year because, as Tony mentioned, we did 2 things that year that hadn't been accomplished in 15 years. One was beating Central after losing 2 key players in the first quarter. We lost first-string quarterback Sam Barnett and defensive back Joe Jaconski, both taken away in an ambulance, which delayed the game. Rod Jones came in, played a big part. It was a team effort all the way. The touchdown, it was the winning touchdown, but that, believe me when I tell you, that was a team effort. Rod Jones hit me with the touchdown pass, and we went on to win the game. The second thing we did that year was win the B Division playoffs against Germantown. Even having a good year, we lost a tough game against Frankfurt in the playoffs, but I still say to this day, if we'd have played that game Friday night instead of Saturday and getting rained out, that might have been a closer game than what it was. In baseball, JV, when I met Mr. Habe, I was really intimidated. And anybody you know knows Habe, you know how he is. But I can truly say that Mr. Habe taught me the right way to field a ground ball and the right way to turn a double play at second base. Mr. Habe made me a better physical player. When I moved on to varsity, I met Mr. Hubbard. He taught me all about situations on the field. Day in and day out, this is what we worked on, situations. Mr. Hubbard made me a better mental player. All these fundamentals I took with me coaching up at 21st Ward and still to this day with the Ivy Ridge Panthers American Legion. My decision after Roxborough High School was to go to Community College of Philadelphia. I played there 2 years. In my second year, I suffered an injury that would change my pursuance as a ball player. I decided then that I would follow my father's footsteps into the Carpenters Union. For a 4-year apprenticeship to foreman, to job superintendent, a position I still hold today. So not only do I want to thank the coaches for making me a better player, but I'd like to thank the teachers who helped me prepare for my career. RSH Roxborough High School was the right choice for me. To all my friends I made there, including my wife Jill, is what it was all about. I'd like to give a special thanks out to the class of '79 for all their support, the school spirit. On game days, it seemed to give us an edge. I don't know what it was about it, but it did. Once again, I would like to thank the Roxborough High School Hall of Fame for this award. It is truly an honor that I will hold dear to my heart.
Our next inductee tonight, Lynn Neary Gramberg, and she will be presented by Terry Hammes.
You have heard of the man with the golden arm. Let me introduce you to the lady with the golden arm, which is none other than Lynn Neary Gramberg. She was known as Miss Power Personified. She was a true all-around power volleyball player. She could serve the ball to any place in the court, the corners, the lines, and down the middle. Her serve was so hard, the girls in practice would yell, "Here it comes!" Needless to say, they were sent home with black and blue arms. If you were a softball player, beware. If you had any intention of stealing a base, I would say, don't do it. Her power arm was ready at all times and put into service no matter what position she played. You would be out before you even got to base. Lynn had a red Camaro that buzzed up and down the ridge and mainly to Roxborough High School. She drove the Camaro with just one hand. She didn't need two. Right, Lynn? The championship volleyball team was known as the Cinderella team. In '79, they were in last place. In '80, they went from rags to riches. Through the excellent leadership of Captain Neary, the team was led to a great and successful season, not only winning the division championship, but also the prestigious Public League Championship. Lynn has not left all of her expertise in the sports world. She brought some of it along to Roxborough Memorial Hospital. I call her Dr. Bones. When you go to see her and tell her what hurts, she listens. Her brown eyes sparkle. She has a sweet smile on her face. Then she quietly says to you, "I'll fix it." Then the torture begins. She isn't nice anymore. As she tries to put your elbow into your ear. Anyhow, you come out of it all in one piece. And this is a true story, I'm telling you. I broke my wrist. I went to see Lynn. I thought she would kill me. But let me tell you, I can use this wrist as good today as any time at all. And now, Lynn, for you, your volleyball champions are here this evening to honor you. And I would like the ladies to stand as I call your name. Laura Bercali, where are you, Laura? There you are. Jackie O'Connor, Kathy Conlow, Mary Kohler, B.J. Harrison, and Susan Herman. Thank you, ladies. To Mrs. Neri, who have beautiful, outstanding, talented daughters. It has been my honor and privilege to have taught and coached them. And now, only the best are selected and inducted into the Hall of Fame. To you, Lynn, I will always send my best, for you are a true champion.
Thank you, Mrs. Hammis. I'm just going to throw this out. I can't follow that lead. Thanks for making me cry. Just want to thank everyone here, the Sports Hall of Fame members who've been so kind, my fellow inductees and all their many accomplishments, my friends, lots of them, my family. Standing before you tonight, I'm extremely honored to be selected for this prestigious recognition from my high school alma mater. I congratulate the other inductees for their many accomplishments, and I'm humbled to be chosen from a long list of talented athletes from our great school. Thinking back to Roxborough, that was where I learned that hard work and patience pay off. I learned many life lessons from Mrs. Hammis. She was my volleyball coach and mentor, and she nominated me for this recognition, which I thank her. As Mrs. Hammis said, we first met back in 1977, back on the volleyball court. I began my volleyball days looking up to those older girls like Fawn Disney and many others. Those girls were so good, they could always serve the ball into that dollar parlor, we called it. The dollar parlor is the place in the court where you can get that serve and it's practically just non-returnable. So I did strive for that, and I guess I made it, according to Mrs. Hammis. In that magical year, the fall of 1980, as Mrs. Hammis said, we were the Cinderella team. We came from the bottom, the furthest you could go, from 1979, and we just scratched and clawed, and we just made it to the playoffs. And we just, through a lot of grit, you met all my teammates already. We finally made it, and we got that championship. And my most cherished memory is riding back up Bridge Avenue singing the song from Queen, "We Are the Champions." Everybody remember that? Yeah. So, again, my special thanks go to the coaches, Mrs. Curtis, who's not here tonight, of course, Mrs. Hammis, and my teammates, Laura Baby Cakes Bercali. We had some special nicknames for everyone. We had Susie Q. Schwartz. But again, thank you to Sue Herman and Mary Kohler, Kathy Conlow, Jackie O'Connor, and the Harrison girls. Betty Jane was our scorekeeper and manager, and she kept us all together. She was always organized, and Mrs. Hammis taught us all that organization. Just so grateful for everyone in that special year to get us over the top into the championship team. I just also can't forget our head cheerleader and inspiration, Mr. Giampetro, our principal, affectionately Mr. G. He was at every one of our games, and he just inspired us. He was a truly special person, for those of you who remember him. I also enjoyed the softball playing for Mr. Aponic. That was also a special time in my life. We learned many things. We learned just how to, just work together as a team, and it was just a special time. We didn't get to the championship because those Lincoln girls' pitchers were just outstanding. We had our friend Brian Green would pitch to us every year at batting practice to try to prepare us for the playoffs, but those windmill pitchers from Lincoln were just too tough for us. But we had a lot of fun, we learned a lot, and we just enjoyed it. I would like to thank my family who is here tonight. They supported my athletic career. My mother Lil, who's here tonight, she taught me to be the hard worker I am today. For those of you who know her, know she just never stops moving. She just keeps going and going. And I try to model that work ethic every day. And if you ask my girls, they say that I am becoming more and more like her, which makes me happy, but kind of scares the heck out of them. Special thanks will go to my father, Len, who's not here with us any longer. But he coached me through my younger days, and he pushed me hard to be the person I am today. So special thanks go to him, too. A lot of memories from the school and the community. I did play, my first organized sport was in the 21st Ward baseball team. Back in the 1970s, very few girls were playing back then. And I think that's where I learned a lot of competitive spirit. I did play actually against a former Major League pitcher, Roxborough's own Mark Gubazah. And I was fortunate to just get a little small hit out of the outfield one time, and now I can always say that I was able to get a hit off a Major League pitcher, which very few people can say that. But being a Roxborough Indian was not only about sports. I was just proud to be from Roxborough because we were known for excellent academics, music, and school spirit. School provided a lot of opportunities to learn and grow, and prepared me for the game of life. I want to give a special thanks to Mr. Ron Maiden, who became one of my enthusiastic cheerleaders. He was instrumental in getting me elected to the Hall of Fame, and I want to thank him. We become friends ever since we met at the Roxborough Memorial Hospital PT department. But we're even better friends after I'm done stretching him. Watch it. Who's next? Seriously, I love Roxborough and always will, and I'm dedicated to this wonderful community and its residents. Some of my coworkers call me the mayor because I know so many of you, or should I say your injuries, I guess. And my children always joke with me that I know everyone's grandparents. So I'd like to thank all of you who came to support me tonight. That includes my colleagues from the hospital, my cheering section, my friends from school. Thank you all for coming. And of course, Mrs. Hammis, who nominated me. I am where I am today because of all of you who have touched my life in some way. I thank you all for the experience that is Roxborough. And as we used to sing on the volleyball bus, we're from Roxborough, couldn't be prouder. If you can't hear us, we'll shout a little louder. Everybody. We're from Roxborough, couldn't be prouder. If you can't hear us, we'll shout a little louder. Thank you, everybody.
Our final inductee of tonight, Donald A. Semish, presented by Elizabeth Beth Paulin.
Well, good evening, everyone, and congratulations to all the inductees this evening. When Don asked me to say a few words about him this evening, I have to tell you that I was a bit surprised. And I've got to be honest here. You see, Don is my father-in-law, and you know about in-laws. Well, over the years, Don and I, to be honest with you, have had some really
serious knockdown, drag-out fights. We've battled for hours at a time, never giving an inch, often ending up exhausted and dehydrated, almost to the point of collapse. And the fact that both of us hate to lose, you can just imagine. But I guess that's what made our tennis matches so great and memorable. And you do realize I was talking about our tennis matches, right? I'll make that clear. The induction of Donald Semish into the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame for his exploits on the basketball court as well as for his record in the mile is a true celebratory event for his family who's here this evening. Ever since we received word of his induction, we've been marveling at the fact that his record in the mile went unbroken for 15 years. 15 years in the face of advanced training techniques that are employed today in the area of track and field. 15 years in the face of improvements in running shoes and the improvements made to the tracks themselves, which allow for higher speeds. For his family, from his 2 sons who are here tonight all the way down to his great-grandson, Andrew, this event has given us a chance as a family to come together and to celebrate not only this incredible achievement, but a lifetime of achievements that began on Mitchell Street with his parents and his brother Phil. Achievements which include a law degree from the University of Pennsylvania. Achievements which include the establishment of a successful law practice in Willow Grove, which he's now passed on to his 2 sons, Mark and Scott. Achievements which include 53 years of marriage to Kathleen Robb Semish. And of course, there are those continued athletic achievements. No longer on the basketball court or on the track field, but rather now on the tennis court. In 2000, Don held the #1 ranking in the Philadelphia Tennis District. In 2002, he was ranked #2 in the entire USTA Middle States region. And in 2003 and 2004, after he'd moved to Florida, he held the #1 ranking there. And what is probably most surprising, especially to those of us who are getting older and have bad knees, is that after 2 knee replacements in 2007, Don returned to the Florida Senior Tennis Court, rising to #7 in 2009, a ranking that will no doubt increase this year given the wins that he's had this spring over highly ranked national players. And I guess to end, I would probably be remiss if I failed to mention one other great achievement of Don's. In our last tennis match at Germantown Cricket Club, he took me down. 3 sets, but he took me down. Next time, Don. I got you. Congratulations.
My track career came to an abrupt ending my freshman year in college when Ron Thomas and I were just beginning our training. Drexel fired its coach and abandoned the track team. My basketball career ended my sophomore year in college. As a freshman, I had started every game at Drexel for the freshman team, and I was looking forward to playing varsity. And I met a little girl in Ocean City that summer, and I decided to protect my interest in her, I should find my way to Illinois, where she was attending Wheaton College west of Chicago. So I sat out the fall working, and I found my way to Wheaton in January, and I was working in the college dining room waiting for admission to the college. And that fall, I made the basketball team. Now, Wheaton is a small college power, and that year they went to the NAIA championships. And I had been shooting in the gym every day, and was shooting better than I ever had in my life.
But I'd been out of school for a year and not playing on the team, so I was a little rusty on the other aspects of the game, and I was going to be the first person off the bench. I thought I would be starting in a couple of weeks. So when the team was put together, the coach handed out the uniforms and gave us a speech, and he said, you have 3 priorities. The first is God, the second is your education, the third is the team. Now, I was 1,000 miles from home. I was living in a 3rd floor unheated room, sometimes shared with mice. I was working in the dining hall at 5:15 a.m. every morning, all because of the cutest little girl I'd ever seen. And so I handed in my uniform and told the coach it wasn't my priority. Turned out best for me because I was able to concentrate on studies, and I obtained a scholarship to Penn Law School. My family could never have afforded that. And better yet, I married that cute little girl. The weekend we graduated from college, and we'll soon be married 54 years. My sons say she gets instant sainthood. The foundation for that marriage and for whatever I accomplished in life was really laid here in Roxborough. I loved growing up in Roxborough. I never had a bad day. I came from a loving family. I can't think of a bad moment growing up in Roxborough. I had good friends, Ron Thomas, Frank Shuloff, and Ed Roberts. We had a team for every season. And so we'd find some other team to play. We'd go up to Shawmont and play against Bobby Warner. I hated Bobby Warner. He was so good. And when we didn't have a team to put together, we'd play 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3. We'd sneak on to the second hole of the Walnut Lane golf course and play golf. And when we were really bored, we'd play tennis. I've always been proud to say that I was from Roxborough. People ask me where I'm from. I always have been proud to say that. And proud to say that I went to Roxborough High School because not only for the enjoyment I had in sports, because my whole life was sports growing up, but we got a good education at Roxborough High. Ron Thomas went on to become a certified public accountant. Frank Shuloff worked with the CIA. And Ed Roberts became a PhD in chemistry. And all of us would say that we owe a great deal to our time growing up here and at Roxborough High. I'm really inordinately pleased to be here tonight. This is a great thrill for me. And I'd like to thank Jack Harmer and Ron Thomas and Ron Halley and everyone else that made this possible, because my wife said, don't say this. I think it's an undeserved honor. My record pales in comparison to some of these people, but I am thrilled to be here, and I thank you. He's a handsome dude.
Let's have one more round for tonight's inductees. We on the executive board like to thank you for attending tonight, for your patience, to give everybody a chance here to, tell you a little about themselves. And we work hard each year to pull this off, but we're very pleased that everybody enjoyed themselves tonight. Would you all please rise for the benediction? I bring up Mr. Fred Hauser.
What these people have said, and realize that everyone in this room has had a part in their excellence. Father, mother, brother, sister, children. We're all part of this, and we're part of your family, and we thank you for that. Now we ask for a safe journey home and your blessing in the days ahead. In your holy name we ask it. Amen.